Hello and welcome to Maverrik Live. I'm your host Luke 2 and today I'm joined by Mr. Terry Heath.
It's good to be back again.
How are you doing? I'm going back to calling people misters now. How are you doing? I'm Mr. Terry Heath. How are you? Are you doing good on this Monday? It's been quite a drizzly one.
Yeah, it's pretty wet and horrible here, but you know, we keep smiling. Start of the week.
Really hits you, doesn't it, with the motivation of just like, I need to walk in the rain for a bit.
Oh yeah, nothing more enjoyable than opening the curtains on a Monday morning and it's chucking it down.
Exactly.
After you got sunburnt the day before, yeah, that's brilliant.
Doesn't make any sense, UK weather. So today we're going to be talking about how to return to the office, and because of the way, we're going live to YouTube right now, and then a lot of social medias, whenever you mention the reason why people have been away from the office for the last 2 years, it kind of limits the reach of the video. So we're not going to say it, but we all know why people have been gone from the office. But now we're looking at people coming back into the office. Obviously people have been rolling out, getting their, can you say vaccination?
Yeah.
I don't know how it affects the algorithm. You just can't say the main word maybe. But yeah, people are rolling with vaccinations, people are coming back into the office, all with restrictions apply. So we're kind of going to talk today about how to make it easier for your team to get in, back into the office and back to the flow of things.
Absolutely.
So when it comes to our own team, well, we've kind of rushed back in. We're all kind of here. We're all working, and we've maintaining that speed. How was your re-entrance to the office?
Mine personally, it was. So I'd go back a few months ago where just you were dropping in 1 day a week or a half day here and there, little bits to be done. And then it gradually built up until obviously, all the government restriction, all those sort of things that, we're all allowed a bit more freedoms to get back in. And then so by mid-May, is that far? It seems so long ago now. Yeah. But yeah, by mid-May, it was a case of, right, let's get back in, let's get moving. And, it's been a lot of change for a lot of people, good and bad things. You sort of experience, got used to old habits.
The personality of the person has really been showcased by this whole scenario, because the introverted people, I think I was talking to Amy about this when we were doing her introduction. The introverted people were really flourishing because they had time to recharge and not talk to anyone, whereas extroverts were just chomping at the bit to get out and talk to people and meet new people because they were like, I'm stuck in my house.
And I think as well is that we found, particularly with the content guys, they'd been working at home for so long, they were just desperate for a change of scenery now.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can stare at your bedroom wall, your dining room table, your kitchen bench, whatever you've been working on for months and months on end. And that's the world you lived in. You're basically in the bubble of your house. Work was there, sleep was there, dinners, everything just happens in the house.
A lot of them were fresh starters as well, so they never had the experience of the office coming in to begin with. All they had was that.
Yeah, we've got new staff members who we didn't meet for 3 months, unless it was on a video call. So, for them to say, hey, come and return to the office, and like, what do you mean return? I've never been there.
My introduction to
I don't even know what it looks like.
Exactly. So my first point essentially is the tracking of the returns. Like I mentioned before about the vaccinations and people coming in. It's people. Obviously, we've got a variety of ages. So as it opened up and changed, different people were getting vaccinations in. Yeah. So really, I'm going to say, is it a business responsibility to track that to make sure?
I think that
it's a tough one, isn't it?
Is it? Is there a legal responsibility to track it? No. Is it wise to do so? Yes. I think because one is you're developing a confidence within your workforce that people are getting. Obviously, it's still a free will choice whether you get vaccinated or not. But the more people who are, it lifts the confidence. We've seen that ourselves now. I think we're probably approaching 3/4 of the team now have had at least one shot.
Yeah.
We're approaching probably about half of the team now have had 2 shots. And it gives you a little bit more confidence and people are a little bit more relaxed now. You don't see everybody, using hand gel every 5 seconds of the day.
Just showering in it.
Showering.
Someone spoke to me, I need to just
it's like layers and layers.
Yeah,
de-cleanse my hands of cleanser, yeah. So it's about, creating an environment where people feel confident to come to work, where the appropriate measures are in place, where everybody's doing what they can do. to just get through this phase and get back to some level of normality.
Yeah, it's wondering. I'm wondering if people actually, when they join a company, go, oh, so how many people in the office are? Because it might be a big decision if clients come to see you as well, or it is really, like you said before, it is a free will. People can choose to do so if they want, but at the end of the day, it's going to affect people's decisions about living and working and thriving in an office, depending on if people are taking the right precautions.
Yeah, absolutely, and I think it's obviously bigger than the office conversation, what we've had to do, and with the whole vaccination program rolling out, because we have to consider our own family members, our relatives that may be younger or older than us. All of that's been taken into place, and now we're talking about the workplace as people have come back. And I think people are just very conscious of it, and everyone's willing to do whatever they can just to create safe working environments now.
Yeah, so we'll jump away from the polarizing thing of vaccination you talk about. Even the word itself is just such like a hot potato.
Yeah.
We'll go just to going back to our point of getting people into the office. So another point I've got is the adjustment period. This adjustment period essentially is, once again, I mentioned it in our past live, when people are now coming into the office and meeting people face to face and having conversations, it can be really draining socially and mentally after just talking to their cat for the last year and a bit.
It's true. Well, you mentioned just earlier about the difference between people. You've got extroverts and introverts and everybody in the spectrum in between. There are people who have genuinely enjoyed the working from home, this by myself, not under the pressure of having a boss or a team member hounding them for stuff every 5 minutes. Yep. It's been more structured. You've had to have, schedule video calls or whatever. And that's played to their personality more. But then you've got the flip side, which you said the extroverts, who are just screaming out for contact with somebody in a conversation.
Yeah.
And all of that's got to be taken into consideration as people are coming back in, that we've all created working styles or patterns in our own lives as we've been working at home. So to now you're coming back into an office where you've got to consider other people and all the restriction things and safety elements that are in place, how that projects upon your productivity, your creativity, and all of that. And
I don't think any office has just all extroverts or has all introverts, because you need that variety of people, especially for what kind of role they're in. I wouldn't trust a techie who wasn't a little bit introverted, because they need to put themselves away and learn and then do the rest of it. There's probably some who exist, but I haven't seen many.
It's true, very true.
But yeah, the variety also helps with just the flow of the office in a sense, because if everyone's on the same page, you don't get new ideas or fresh ideas.
Well, that's it, and that's, I think, one of the biggest things that we benefit from coming back in that adjustment period, is people are now starting to feel confident again that in the crowded situation, I still have a voice. Yeah, that I can still speak, I can still add, I can input into things, and we've seen that as you bring the team back together, how that creativity flows differently now that they're bouncing off each other, where before it was just me sitting there, or I schedule a call that, it takes away from the creativity side of it.
Completely agree. So I'm going to say my last point is probably like the most important one, which is essentially just talking to the team and just saying how they're feeling, and just taking that extra bit of time to just ask them how they're adjusting. Is there anything which is going on right now in their lives which you could help with as the company? It's just opening a dialogue, I'd say.
Yeah. Even though the government sort of, in a sense, flicked the switch, which is we can all come back to the workplaces, it doesn't necessarily mean that's the right thing for that individual at that time.
Yeah, or that company in a sense, because I know a lot of companies deciding, look, we've tried it this way and it works better for us in a sense. Yeah. So it is a choice.
We've got to understand, we've been presented with an opportunity where people have had a good chunk of time to experience what it's like to work from home. And there will be people who say, what, this actually suits me better, or let's say a combination of a hybrid of the two, which is I'm in the office 2 or 3 days a week, but I'm at home 2 or 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Being able to do that. But it has presented an opportunity for a lot of companies to take a look at that, consider it, and say, right, okay, going forward, what does this look like? So I think we are in a time where people are still considering that. Depending what the company does and your role will probably dictate to whether you're better suited to in the office or working from home.
It was like a forced social experiment where they could, they would never do it beforehand. I'll tell you what, we're just going to send people home for a while and just see how they manage on. In like without any other circumstances, they would never do that. Yeah. But now they've had to, So then now they can take that look at the data and go, okay, productivity went up or down with each individual. This is how we can manage that now.
Well, we know the practical side of even talking to our clients is some of the bigger clients have scaled down their office space.
Yeah.
Because they purely do not need so much desk space anymore because they've got more people working from home. And that works for them. Their productivity is still there, revenues are still coming in, it all still works for them.
We can remove the chocolate fountain and the donut machine and the popcorn machine and the 24/7 clown we've hired. Maybe we don't need him anymore.
No,
just scale it down just a little bit. Just in
scaled
case.
it back a bit. But it's a great time for people to have a look at what's going on, consider what the future looks like, make those adjustments, and having those individual conversations with the team members.
Yeah.
Making sure everybody is comfortable to return, how they've returned, if there's tweaks and changes that can be made to the working environment that just makes it more enjoyable, then why wouldn't we do it?
Fantastic. I couldn't say that myself. I don't need to sum that up. That's a great one. So thank you for joining me, Terry.
It's been good again.
And thank you all for watching Maverrik Live. We'll be back on Wednesday for our next show. If you've got any questions, queries, or if you want to just comment about how your return to office has been, don't forget to check us out in the comments. We'll be reviewing and commenting back to you, so make sure you get your voice here down there. And subscribe to us for our all our content that comes out, and click the notification bell so you know when we go live, so you can catch us up in all our glory. We do go with questions and answers when they arrive. So if you've got any questions or answers, let us know. But for now, I'd say we're going to sign off. So Thank you, Terry, for coming down.
Thank you once again. We'll be back.
Thank you all for watching Maverrik Live.